Oh, that color is not attractive, and I do not know how to fix it. I hope it looks not so weird for you guys. I have a feeling it probably looks weird. Got a new phone again. Gotta stop doing that. Gotta stop doing that. So yeah, sorry about the weirdness of this recording. I honestly don't know what to do about this. Do I look completely washed out to you guys? I don't know. Hey, Angela. Good to see ya. So yes, I got a new phone. Thank you to Terry Deshawn. She sent me a gift card and it inspired me to upgrade my phone to a Samsung 10S Plus. Is that what this is? And I have been nothing but frustrated, again, just like I was when I upgraded to the 9 Plus. And then I learned to love my 9 Plus, so I'm hoping I learn to love this one. But what is this? Like, why is it so bright? I don't know how to fix it. I like set it how I wanted it and then put it on YouTube, and it's also zoomed way in. I don't know why. It was way far out before. Okay, so welcome everybody. It's good to see you. I'm looking a little school teacherish. I was hoping more of it would show because I had such a cute little cardigan and whatever thing to teach you guys today. So I'm being a school teacher for you today. And I wanted to look like one. So quickly say hello. I will do the shout outs and then we will talk about the keto mistakes that you might be making. All right. So Angela is here, ADH Snuggles, Dara Otis, good morning, Tammy Wilson, hello, Sherry Andrews, hi, Epiphany London, hello, Michelle Pierre, hi, Honest AF, good to see you, Kelly Sir, hey, thank you for the compliment on my outfit, it's Walmart, gotta love Walmart, Stacy Bruglio, hi, welcome, all right, anybody else want to say hi really quick? Just want to make sure I don't miss anybody. All right, and keep in mind, as we go, you guys are free to ask questions, and I will go back and try and respond to as many questions as I possibly can during the hour that we have together. I apologize for starting late. I was trying to get my video up on hide and seek, and it just wouldn't cooperate with me. So I finally got it up, and now I'm here. So yeah. Anyway, if you have a burning question, a desire that you need to have fulfilled, you can always make a donation to the channel by clicking the little dollar sign on your chat thing, and that will send me a donation and also alert me of your comment or question so that I make sure that I answer it right away. All right, so let's talk about common keto mistakes and how you can avoid them and the ones that you might actually be making. Some of these you've probably heard me talk about before. Actually, you probably heard me talk about all of these before because I talk about them a lot. But I just felt inspired that today we needed to talk about them again. Because I keep getting questions about it over and over. Okay, so mistake number 1 is my soapbox. I've done many videos on it. In fact, I think last week or the week before, I did a whole live chat on it. But it's number 1 is neglecting electrolytes. So I know that you guys have heard me talk about it before, but I know there's a lot of new people that watch my channel and people that will come into this video that maybe haven't heard my information about electrolytes. So if you want detailed information, I did a whole live chat like last week or the week before. And also I have a playlist on Keto for Beginners that has an electrolytes video that goes into it in depth. But the number one mistake that I see people making on keto is neglecting their electrolytes. People tell me that they don't need them, that they're fine. Okay, and I'm like, okay, well, that's great for you if that's the truth. But for 99.99% of everyone else, we all need to worry about and track our electrolytes. And those would be sodium, magnesium, and potassium, with sodium being the number 1 most important. So I'm just going to give you the amounts that you should be taking, and then I'll move to the next one because I have beat this one like a dead horse, and I probably don't need to beat it anymore. But for sodium, you should be getting 5,000 milligrams a day minimum. You can have a maximum, but it's usually you'll just flush it. So don't worry about there being a maximum. Just try and get 5,000 milligrams minimum on top of what you're eating in your food. So that's in supplement form of some kind, be it sole water or eating salt or swallowing salt pills or some way. Number 2 would be potassium, 1,000 to 3,500 milligrams of potassium. I don't necessarily recommend potassium supplementation, but I get all of my potassium from food. So green leafy vegetables, all the meats, cheeses, pretty much everything has a bit of potassium. Even good old diet sodas have some potassium in them. So just make sure you're tracking it and making sure that you hit at the minimum of 1,000 and a max of 3,500. And that's only if you're doing the sodium supplementation. So you're going to want to be higher if you're doing potassium supplementation with lower sodium. But that's in another video. Don't worry about that. Just try and keep your potassium 1,000 to 3,500. Then your magnesium, 300 milligrams is the minimum and maximum. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that you can go too high. Personally, I take about 625, 650 a day, 650 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. Just make sure that you get a magnesium that is absorbable. So you want to avoid oxide, and pretty much everything in Walmart and Walgreens is all oxides. Just don't buy it there. You're going to need to go on Amazon or maybe to the vitamin shop or something like that to find a magnesium glycinate or a malate or an oroate. Glycinate will relax you. Malate will give you energy. I'm not sure about the other ones. Those are the ones I mostly concentrate on. Citrate is great if you're constipated, but don't do it all the time because it can disrupt cells, I guess. Don't know much about that, but that is what I've been told. All right, and that's it for electrolytes. So moving on to another one, because I know you guys don't want to hear about that anymore. And if you do, we'll have a whole video about that. So number 2, I know you don't want to hear this one, but the number 2 mistake I feel like people are making on keto is eating too much fat. I know that's probably counterintuitive to what most people tell you, that you need to eat all the fat in order to lose weight, that you need to convince your body to burn fat by eating copious amounts of it, but that is not necessarily true. Maybe in the first few days when you're trying to make the switch over from carbs to fats, yes, you want to make sure that your body knows it has an abundant source, but you also want your body to know that you have an abundant source. And the more dietary fat you consume on keto, the less body fat you will burn. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So you do want to have a higher level of fat in your diet than normal. And so I'm not saying like just be completely low fat or anything, but you just don't need to eat like upwards of 150 grams of fat a day. It's just like cut that in half. You know, stick in the 65 to 85, 90 for a woman and 80 to 115-ish for a guy. Fat grams if you want to be losing fat. And of course, not enough protein kind of goes along with that because everybody's trying to keep their calorie level low. They'll bring their fats to a certain level, but then their proteins drop because they're trying to make that perfect ratio of protein to fat that everybody says is what's important for keto. That is a common misconception. It is not important to have that perfect percentage of 75, 20, and 5 or whatever, 70, I don't even know what it is. 75 fat, 20 protein, and 5 carbs. It is not important to hit that like that. It is more important for, number 1, for you to be satiated, and number 2, for you to not consume as much fat so that your body fat will burn. And I do that by raising my protein level up. So if you are a woman, you're going to want anywhere between 90 and 130 grams of protein. And you're going to, if you're a man, you're going to want between 100 to 160-ish, depending on your height, of protein per day in order to maintain your lean mass, especially if you're on a cut. If you are trying to lose weight, lose fat, you want to keep your protein level high so that your body doesn't burn so much of the muscle and it has amino acids to replace the ones that it needs when your muscles get built and whatever. So it's important. I got this information from Dr. Finney. If you want more information, you can go to his blog, vertahealth.com. His blog is on the little menu drop icon. So that's where I got that information. If you want specific macros that somebody already just did for you, we have put together a little chart. It's not like perfectly accurate or anything, but it gives you a general idea of a good macro base that you can start with to lose weight. And of course, that's on my Facebook group, Keto Chaos, over on Facebook. And you can also email me if you're not on Facebook, ketochaos@gmail.com, and I will happily send you my Get Started guide along with the macros chart for free, because I do that. Okay, number 3. This one people also do not like, but number 3 is not tracking your food. I know a lot of people lose weight doing lazy keto, and a lot of people, find success just tracking carbs or whatever and not doing all of the macro tracking. But if you want to be really, really successful losing fat and losing it fast, tracking is vital. It's really, really important. Number 1 reason, because you need to know if you're getting your electrolytes in. You need to make sure in your tracker that they are there and that you have gotten your sodium and magnesium and potassium for the day. So that means you need to track all of your food, every bite. That does mean you need to weigh it out. I'm sorry. I know it's a pain in the butt, but I have 9 kids. I run 2 YouTube channels. I'm a photographer. I do all kinds of crazy crap. I'm a dance mom. We do competitions. If I can track my food, anyone can track their food. I know it's inconvenient. I know it isn't fun, but it does get easier over time, and it can be simplified. So if you really, really, really cannot stand the idea of tracking, you can take the macros that you're trying to follow and cut them into 2 or 3 meals and come up with a list of a whole bunch of those meals that meet those exact macros. And then you can just weigh your food each time, or pre-make your food, do meal prepping or whatever, so that you don't have to think about it so hard. Then you don't have to put it in the tracker so much if you know you're hitting all of those. But it still does make it tricky with electrolytes, potassium, and all that. Making sure that those are all there is more, I feel like it's just easier to track each day as you go. So tracking app that I recommend is Chronometer. I just found that has the most USDA entries. I don't pay for the gold membership, though. I'm kind of ticked off that now I got my new phone. It won't let me show my weight loss from the beginning to the end unless I pay for the stupid monthly subscription. That irritates me a lot, actually. But it still is it's $2.99 for the regular version of it without the monthly subscription. And it works just great. Has a lot of USDA accurate entries, and those are important because the potassium is usually listed. A lot of times, especially in my Fitness Pal, where you have so much user entries, a lot of people don't bother to put the potassium in, and you could be getting dangerously high potassium because you're not tracking it and making sure that you keep it at a reasonable level. You can die. You can stop your heart from overdoing the potassium. That's why I don't recommend potassium supplementation. Though I do use light salt a little bit on my food. I try to hit about 1 gram a day of light salt just to make sure I get that potassium level where it should be, as I don't eat a lot of veggies. Okay, so not tracking. That's number 3. If I do have more information on that, other videos on tracking. If you get confused, you can always ask me questions, especially about Chronometer, because I know a lot about it, but my sister is like the queen of Chronometer, and she is on our Facebook group as well. But we have some ways to set it up. So if you're having trouble setting it up and you can't figure out how to put your macros in there and stuff, message us. We will help you figure that out. Okay. Number 4, this is one I've been seeing a lot that kind of frustrates me. Number 4, the biggest mistake you're going to make that's going to completely waylay your journey is cheat meals or carb-ups. Just say no to cheat meals or carb-ups. I don't care if you haven't lost an ounce on the scale in 3 months. Don't go there. Unless you think that you can do one meal and you have it planned out and it's in your tracker and you know how you're going to feel later and you've got a plan on how you're going to get right back on keto, will it sometimes help you drop some water weight? Yeah. Any kind of change in your diet will mess with your water weight. I improve of that. I started eating more calories in different foods, and my body is now retaining water. If I wanted to get rid of that water, I would change my diet back to what I was doing, and it would drop. So water weight is just like water weight. You don't need to worry about water weight. Just don't worry about the scale so much. But yeah, like I don't even care if I'm on a 6-month stall. I don't care if I'm on a whole lifetime stall. I am not going to risk completely screwing over my entire weight loss journey for a freaking cheat meal. It's never happening. Guys, never. Never, ever, ever. I keep saying never because I never, ever want that. And I want the accountability of telling you guys that I am going to never have a cheat meal. Because you know what? If you're like me, you got obese you're on keto because you're obese, or you were obese and you've lost it, and you probably are a carb addict, and you probably have a binge eating disorder. Good chance. If you don't, that's awesome. And you can do what you want. I mean, everyone has their own agency and they can choose to do what they want. They can eat how they want. And I'm never going to judge anyone for having a carb up or a cheat meal or whatever. I'm never going to make anyone feel bad for making that choice. It's just a choice. It's just a choice. That's all it is. But for me, knowing my addictions, that choice could very well be the end of my life. It could very well send me on a spiral of depression and carbing. And oh, I'll tell you what, it could be bad. It would be bad. I know it would be bad, which is why I say to avoid it. It's really not worth it for the benefit, because the only thing it's doing is helping you drop water weight. And I'll tell you what, this is something about water weight. It just requires patience. If it really and truly is water weight, just wait it out. It will eventually go off of you. If it doesn't, could be you're sensitive to food you're eating, and if you just eliminated that one food, it could fix the problem. So don't be quick to jump to that to try and mess with your metabolism or whatever. If you want to mess with your metabolism, have a day where you eat gobs and gobs and gobs of fat and protein and way overeat. That it can do the same thing to kick things into gear or change things up. I do have a video on my channel where I talked about, it's a live chat where I talked about ways to break a stall. So if you're interested in that, definitely go search that on my YouTube. It's not super hard to find, and you can find that more information on how to break a stall and what I recommend. But I absolutely never in a million years recommend carb-ups. And that is the reason why I think that I will never do a PSMF, which is a protein-sparing modified fast. It is literally the fastest way to cut fat. It is a fad diet. It is very low fat and very high protein. But the problem is that carb-ups and refeeds are built into the program, and I just won't go there. So I just cannot ever do that to get a cut, because I just feel like I could never follow that part of the plan without completely ruining everything. Okay, number 5, the most important one that I left for last so that we can talk about it the most, is avoiding the mental work that it takes to lose weight. A lot of people think that they finally find the diet that works, and they finally find the way of eating that's going to make them skinny, that they are going to feel better and their whole life will be improved and everything's going to be peaches and cream and happy and rainbows and all of that. That is not how it works. That is not how it works. And in fact, the more pounds you lose, the more you strip your protection that you have been building up, your wall of protection that you have built it up between you and the things you really have to deal with. And sometimes dealing is really, really hard. Really hard. Those emotions can come up and trigger a desire for binging. Those emotions can come up and trigger a desire for carbs, and that is just your body's natural reaction and protection to protect you from painful things and things that are hard. So if you truly, truly want to be successful in keto, you can follow all of the rules, you can follow the macros, you can do everything exactly to a T. But if you don't address your mental issues, you will hit a wall and you'll just backslide. Now, you may backslide 25 million times before you finally get it, and that's okay. I'm not judging anybody who backslides, because I've done it, been there, totally have done that my whole life. So I feel for you, and I feel for the people who struggle with binge eating disorders and anxiety and the things that really, really get in the way of true weight loss, because weight loss really does, it's 100% mental. And people are always like, you have such great willpower. Hun, it's not about willpower at all. I don't really have willpower. What I have is a desire to fix me. And I finally was able to tap into that. I was finally brave enough. And honestly, it's more about bravery and courage than willpower ever. Because you can have all the willpower in the world, but when those really hard feelings come up, if you aren't brave and courageous, you're just going to fall right back into old habits. Being brave and facing your fears is not easy, and it's the hardest part of weight loss. I think over this last 2+ year journey, It has been the most eye-opening thing to me. Was I grateful that keto worked? Yes. Did I feel like it was a blessing in my life? Of course, because it physically, actually, scientifically worked. So I did something and actually found success, which that is hard to find. And that's the reason I teach it, because it's brilliant how well it works. Brilliant. But what I found about 3-4 months in is these negative feelings about myself started popping up. These anxieties over how long it was going to take. It started with how long the journey felt and overwhelming, and I was never going to make it there. And there were just over the course of my weight loss journey, there were more and more of those moments where I had to, like, I've talked about it before, where I had to be like Atreyu and come up against that mirror and look myself in the freaking face and go. That is harder than it looks. And that moment in Neverending Story has been impactful in my life for so long, because it is the hardest thing we face. Seeing ourselves in the mirror and being accepting of what we see and passing through is such a huge thing that we need to be able to do, that is really, really difficult, and we hide and we hide and we hide. All the time we're talking about how we don't like about ourselves. I don't like my belly. I don't like the way my boobs sag. I don't like my arm skin. I mean, I have a list. But when I look in the mirror, I look in the mirror now with true acceptance of what I look like, and not disappointment and not criticism. And I look at myself with pride and with joy and with courage. And do I sometimes feel down? Heck yes, all the time. I still suffer from depression, but I know it's depression and I can see it. I can see it for what it is now, instead of being able to be like overwhelmed and overcome by it to the point where I was not in control of my own self. So for me, doing the mental work is the hardest part. Over this last month, I've been coaching this sweet girl. Moira, if you're here, I just love you. And it was an honor to be able to coach you this month. And that is the thing we worked on the most, is just accepting, especially when you make a mistake and you choose to have a cheat meal or you have a binge day. When you beat yourself up and you look in the mirror and you say, I suck, I'm never going to succeed at this, it's impossible, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it, or whatever you're telling yourself in the mirror, those things are just going to trigger binge after binge after binge after binge, and you're never going to get out of that vicious cycle. You have to be able to accept, yes, did I make a mistake? Sure. It's a choice. That's all it is. It's just a choice. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't reflect upon me as a person. I am a good person no matter what my choices are. Do I sometimes make stupid choices? Yeah. Who doesn't? We all make stupid choices. But does that mean that that's the end of my life and I don't deserve happiness and I don't deserve to be successful? No. It doesn't. It's only a choice. And if we remember, every single day we have the opportunity to choose, and we have the opportunity to choose to be successful, and we have the opportunity to choose to just say, suck it for the day and do what we want. Whether that's the best choice or not, it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't reflect on us as a people, as a person in the mirror. It doesn't reflect on you. Don't let those feelings waylay you. You have it in you to be successful. You do, and you deserve to be successful, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to be able to run and not be weary and walk and not faint, like you deserve to have a physical body that does what you want it to do. You deserve it. Doesn't matter what your mistakes are. Doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter if you screamed at your kids this morning. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's all choices, and you're making those choices every single day. And you need to be able to look in the mirror and forgive yourself for those choices every single day. Every single day. And that's the hardest part. So guys, that's the one I would start with the most. I know it's not easy, and you don't have to start with the first week. Obviously, those feelings are going to come up as you move through your journey, but don't avoid those feelings. When they come up, you got to address them. You have to find new ways to care for yourself that help you to deal with them. You need to talk to a counselor. You need to talk to a friend. You need to have a list of self-care. I've talked about that before, so that when you feel triggered to binge or carb up, when you feel triggered, you have a list that you can try. And will it always work? No. And you may still feel crappy, but you're going to be so proud of yourself for at least trying. And that's why I have my backup list of keto-friendly binge foods, especially like sugar-free Jello is a really good one. It's very filling and it has basically no calories. So I have my backup binge foods for when I just really need to feel that overfulfilling and I just have tried everything else and there's just nothing I can do. If I binge on a keto-friendly food, then tomorrow I don't even have to feel bad. I can just be like, well, that was weird, and move on. So that's why I have that list and I have it written down and I go through it. Like I force myself to look at the list. Okay, did you do this? Did you talk to a friend? Did you write out your feelings? You know, did you go for a walk? Did you whatever's on your list? I make myself look at the list like I'm my own counselor. Like I talk to myself like I'm my own counselor. I tell myself, you're a crazy person right now. You stop listening to those voices. Stop feeling that way because you deserve more than that and you have your list. Now go to your list. It's kind of a weird thing, but keto itself lends it to control. And when you feel like you have control over what you consume, that is like half the battle. Half the battle right there because you can choose. You don't feel like the food is choosing for you. And that's the most freeing and emotionally amazing thing. And it's what gave me courage. It's what gave me the fight because I knew I could make a choice and I knew my choices weren't being made for me. So that is all for my top 5 keto mistakes. I hope you guys got something out of that. And if you have any questions, of course, I'm going to go back and check and see if anyone does. If you have questions you would like to ask me, now, and it can be anything keto related or even anything about me or my life or my family or whatever. I did want to mention that probably next week on Instagram. So if you aren't following me on Instagram at Keto Chaos, go over there and follow me right now. If you are following me, I am going to be putting up assumptions about me tag. I don't really want to. I've gone back and forth about it. I'm just so scared, like, because I've done the mental work. I'm so scared that like what people will say will be too hard. But I'm willing to face some of those demons right now. And I feel like next week is a good time. We're coming up on Easter and spring and renewal. And I'm just feeling like making another step in that direction. And maybe if I talk about things, the assumptions about me, it might like break the ice with you guys a little bit. So I'm going to be putting a post up probably not sure exactly when. It might be early. It might be after the live chat next week. I can't decide if I'm going to do next week's or the week after. So just keep an eye out for that. If you have any assumptions about me that you want to share, like things that you think I do or think or say or how I am as a mom or whatever, you can put anything. I may not read all of them, but I will do a shout out for your Instagram handle if you comment on there. So if you're looking for Instagram followers, I know that like some of my friends like Keto Tips and Tales and oh man, see, I always forget people's Instagram handles. It's Nicole, Niquina, Kingsbury Keto. So some of those like that could use some followers. Like if you have something you want to say, I will call out your name here on my live chat when I do the thing. So don't forget to join me on Instagram. I want to make sure to mention that before we get into questions. And let's see what you guys are talking about today. If you have any questions, if you don't, then we can just like be done. And that's all. Okay, let's see. Okay. Megs Blue says she always forgets to take her Soleil water. She hasn't felt that bad, but which is a problem because it doesn't remind her. But she has pink salt on her desk, so she's eating some right now. Good job. You should always have a backup plan. I usually carry my Soleil water with me. I left it downstairs today. I would show you, but I carry it in a little GoStack container, G-O-S-T-A-K. Got it on Amazon. And I just carry it around with me and just take a shot of it. It's not fun to take a shot of it. It burns and it doesn't taste good and it hurts my stomach. I have to take water along with it right after or something, something that will make it so it doesn't burn. But it's fast. And fast for me is important because, I'm so busy. But I always try and have a baggie of pink Himalayan as well in my bag in case something happens with my Soleil water, like if the lid doesn't go on and it spills all over my bag, which has happened multiple times, or something like that I have a backup plan. So good job having pink salt in your desk. That is brilliant. Pepita Alliance says guilty. Of which one? Awesome. All right, let's see. Jennifer Angus says, is it bad to have the same protein as fat, such as 75 fat and 75 protein? No, not necessarily. So that would put you, if you look at your calorie pie chart, that would put you a little bit closer to actually to the keto perfect, whatever. The thing I find is that if I'm doing enough protein, it's hard to get that much fat. And if I'm doing that much fat, it's a maintenance level. So like my original maintenance plan was to do 120 protein, 120 fat, and 20 carbs. That was my original maintenance calories plan. So it's okay to do that, but you're not going to get enough protein if you do that. That's the honest truth, because you're going to want to keep your fats at 75 to help burn your body fat, but 75 protein is not enough for retaining lean mass. Plus, you won't feel as satisfied. You'll be hungry. You'll feel not as good. Having the higher level protein just gives you more food. Oh my gosh, I forgot one that I needed to add it to the list. That reminded me. Dang it. Number 6, not eating enough. Dang it, that one was important. Okay, not eating enough food. So let's talk about the appetite suppressant of keto. First, you'll start keto and you'll feel really, really hungry because your body's begging you for carbs. And then all of a sudden, your body will make the switch over and it will go, ooh, lots of fat. And it will stop telling you that you are hungry. It will give you a non-hunger signal. It will take away your hunger signals. And so many times on my Facebook, people are giving people advice. Eat when you're hungry. Eat intuitively. This is bullcrap. I'm calling it what it is. It's bullcrap. Number 1, keto is appetite suppressant. You're not going to be hungry and you're not going to eat enough protein for your muscles if you don't track it and make yourself eat it. People are like, it's too much protein. It's 1,200 calories, guys. It's not too much protein. You're just not hungry. Force yourself to eat it. Yes, I'm telling you, force yourself to eat it. I hate this conversation. I really wanted to talk about it because it really infuriates me that people think that you can go from a carb addict binge eater to an intuitive eater just by switching to keto. No. No. That is not how it works, friends. You need to tell your body what it needs. It needs a certain amount of protein for muscle protein synthesis. It needs a certain amount of protein for building muscle, retaining muscle, and preventing you from losing your lean mass. It needs a certain amount of fat so that it can run your brain, so that it can run your hormones, so that you don't kill people. You go below 50 grams of fat, and trust me, crazy lady comes out. Trust me, I know. I've tried it. And you need to make sure that you get the right amounts. So you tell your body and you schedule it. People are always telling me, don't schedule so much. Just eat when you feel like you need to eat. Eat to satiety. I know that Dr. Finney does teach that, but he also teaches meeting a minimum protein goal and eating fat to satiety, and that is different than just eating to satiety, fats and proteins. Make sure protein is your goal. Hit it every single day. If you want to let fats fall where they may, whatever, go for it. That's not as important as the protein. But I get so many people saying, you don't need to eat that much protein because you're not hungry. I'm like, you're not going to be hungry. I'm hardly ever hungry, still 2 years in. You're not going to be hungry. And frankly, you've been mistreating your body for years. Your body does not know what the flip it is doing. I'm not going to swear, but telling you right now, you don't get to intuitively eat. I hate to break it to you, but you're probably never going to get to because you're a carb addict and a binge eater. If you're not a carb addict and a binge eater, do whatever. Do whatever. But that was one of the big ones. Dang it, I can't believe I forgot to write that one down. I'm so glad you guys brought it up because it's vital. Don't let the appetite suppressant of keto stop you from eating enough food. You need the food. Okay? Now, if your calories are super, super low, if you're eating enough protein, you should be fine. See, that's the thing. Like, you don't necessarily need the calories. You're not going to go into starvation mode. But because you have fat on your body will just keep burning it happily. That's the beauty of keto. You don't need to worry about that. But if you don't have enough protein, you do risk losing your muscle mass. And I know that I've pounded that one, and I know people disagree with me, but I'm telling you, it works. It works. I've seen it work with other people. I'm not just the only one. There's tons of people that Dr. Finney have helped, and he recommends this higher version of protein. So that's why I recommend it. It's not that I am like scientific guru or anything, because I'm just a mom. But that is what Dr. Finney has researched, and I trust him. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Okay, back to questions. Is chronometer better than carb manager? Not necessarily. But the problem I see with Carb Manager is that most people are just putting their numbers in from the Carb Manager numbers. So the thing I struggle with the most is that people can't figure out how to put their macros in there right from the chart. And they're trying to go by the keto macros that Carb Manager gives, which are close but not close enough. And so I kind of struggle with that. I don't really know about the entries. I haven't tried it, so I don't know for sure, but I do see a lot of people are using it, and it seems to be fairly accurate on the entries. So I think it's fine to use it as long as you make sure you're still meeting your macros correctly. Oh, I see I missed a super chat because I was on my soapbox again. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, Gloria S. Let's see. I notice you tend to eat peanuts as a snack. Is there a reason you don't gravitate toward almonds since they are healthier nuts to eat on keto? That's a good question. I just like peanuts, and they're softer on my braces, which is one of the honest truth answers. I did have almonds yesterday. I went and bought almonds because they're less carbs, and I wanted to be able to eat a little bit more of them because I was going to a movie with my girls for Ruby's birthday. And I noticed when I was eating them that they really are just like, I feel nervous that they're going to break my braces off. Whereas peanuts, they're softer, they're easier to chew. I like the flavor of both. Peanuts do seem to be more inflammatory. So that's probably part of the problem, which is why I did almonds yesterday. I actually tried them because of that reason, but there's really no reason. I just like them. That's pretty much it. It's just a personal preference thing. But yeah, like I just want to be able to eat. I like to buy the package, and often the peanuts come in a nice package like size that I like at the gas station or whatever. And when they're packaged like that, I know that I'm getting a certain amount, and so it's easier to track. But I know that almonds also come in those little packages. It's just that the ones that come in those packages are the ones that are Blue Diamond, and the raw ones are easier to eat. I don't know. I guess I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I will more. I'm trying to. I do still have more of those almonds. I'm probably going to eat them today, so you'll probably be seeing more. But I'm worried about my braces, especially now that I have them on the bottom. 2 weeks on the bottom, and look how straight. It's getting there, guys. Woo-woo! And thank you, Gloria, so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you to come on here all the time and leave a super chat donation for me, and it really does make a difference in my life and how I'm able to focus more on creating content and less on what's going to make me the money. Because I don't like to think that, but this has become a full-time job, and so a lot of times I find myself trying to think of catchy titles or what the YouTube algorithm will appreciate more versus what maybe you guys need more. So I appreciate the super chats because they really help. And my Patreons, I appreciate you guys so much. The Patreon money comes out on the 1st. And so I just got my new Patreon, I guess, amount. And I appreciate all of that. You guys, if you want to join Patreon, I do put videos out there, some of them early for my Patreons as a thank you. And if you leave a super chat here, I will try and answer a question first before everybody else. So that's how it works. All right, back to the questions. Let's see what we got here. Where were we at? Got that one. I got that one. Do I use sweeteners? Okay. Sherry Andrews asks, do you use sweeteners like stevia? I've been using stevia and heavy whipping cream in my coffee and have not been losing weight, so I'm wondering if this is stalling me. Yes, I use sweeteners. None of them seem to bother me. I use pretty much every sweetener that's keto safe. I use liquid stevia. I use liquid sucralose. I use Mio water enhancer, which is also sucralose. I drink aspartame in my sodas, and I drink a lot of soda. What else do I have? Monk fruit. I use monk fruit, erythritol. I buy products with monk fruit and erythritol. I have tried them all, and none of them have stalled my weight loss or given me any kind of cravings. So I've been okay. If you suspect the coffee, cream, and stevia to be waylaying your weight loss, stalling you, it's probably the heavy cream. I hate to break it to you, but it's probably the heavy cream. Depends on how much you're using. I recommend not using more than 2 tablespoons of heavy cream, and of course, tracking it and still keeping your fats under 80, keeping them lower. So it could be the cream. I know with Lori Keto, that was part of her problem, is that she was drinking, I think she said, ounces of cream a day. You cannot drink ounces of cream a day and lose fat on keto, because you're going to keep your calories up here where you're burning the same amount and or more. You could even gain if you eat too much fat. So that's why with my maintenance calories, I've been worried about eating too many calories, because I don't exactly know where my set point is. And I really wanted to start higher and then come down to see if I could get a higher amount. So far, so good. I saw 179 on the scale today. Probably won't stick for Sunday, but here's hoping. And I seem to be holding in this nice little range between like 179 and 183. So that's with maintenance, I'm hoping to just kind of stick there. I am having some joint pain, probably because of I'm sensitive to things I'm eating. I know I have food allergies, and so I don't know what they are. All my kids have food allergies too, but I don't know what they are. I just know that keto fixed it. So it could be that. I'm not super worried about it at the moment. But yeah, double check the amount of heavy cream you're using. Switch to half and half. I know it's hard, but half and half has a little bit more carbs, so make sure you track it. But that's what I do, so that if I want to have fat in my food, I try really hard not to drink my fats. I guess that's the long and short of it. I don't support bulletproof coffee. Blending butter and MCT oil and crap into your coffee to get more fat in is ridiculously a waste of time. It's just calories for calories' sake. Doesn't give you any nutritional value. You don't need it. So if you're going to eat food, have the food fat in the food, not in your drink. Another option for creamer, if you want to try it, is MCT powder. It's lower in fat than MCT oil, and it's creamier, so you need less of it. It works pretty well, at least so I heard. I have not tried it. But if you want to try MCT powder instead of heavy whipping cream and see if that helps, it could help you. But it's not likely stevia. Stevia is as natural as it gets. The likelihood of that is not very high. Unless, of course, you have a stevia allergy, which I suppose is possible, because I'm allergic to a lot of things. I'm allergic to echinacea. I can't take that. I'm allergic to ragweed. Like I'm allergic to random things. And sometimes there's like things that are in that family that I don't know, and it's often herbs. So like for me, I'm often setting off an allergic reaction if I take any kind of herbal supplements at all. So I have to be really careful with those. Okay. Brandy Niemeyer, good to see you. She says it's definitely bravery. I usually treat hard times with food, but this time I faced it head on and made it through. So Brandy is proof positive that you can just keep course correcting. She has been through a lot of crap, and sometimes it has derailed her, and other times it has not derailed her. And this time she's fighting it. She's fighting it head on, and she's winning. And there's just something about winning that makes you feel so good. It just makes you feel so powerful and such like a queen. Like you just feel so good. So I'm so proud of you, Brandy. I love you so much. She's one of my awesome moderators. And actually, Brandy is the one who put together our macros chart. She did all of the math for us and was awesome to help me put that together when everything was falling apart and my emotions were all over the place. And it was about a year ago, and I was losing my mind. Brandy stepped in and really helped me out and helped create our macros for our group that have helped so many people be successful this last year. It's been amazing to watch. So thank you, Brandy. All right. Let's see. So for cheat meals, okay, let's talk about cheat meals a little bit more. So when I'm referring to a cheat meal or going off plan or making that choice, to like eat off plan. It's better to call it that if you're going to make a choice to do it, not call it a cheat, because then you feel guilty for cheating. I'm referring to carb foods. But the thing is, if you're in fat loss mode, like I was in January and February, if you go back to my What to Eat Wednesdays and check those out, you'll see I had very regimented meals that I ate. They were very similar, and they were always similar in macros. And I didn't eat any really keto treats or bars or snackage, anything like that. If you're eating that way on a daily basis, keeping your fats at a reasonable level, at a moderate level instead of a super high level, then on a birthday or on an anniversary or on Super Bowl Sunday or on Easter or whatever it may be, you can make keto treats and have a super high fat day and you feel really satisfied, like you're having some kind of special food. Okay. That's the beauty of eating the lower fat, is that then your treats are really truly treats. You can make keto cheesecake and enjoy it. You can make this fluff that I make. If you guys haven't seen my fluff, it's basically like I mix a big bowl of it up and I make a quart of heavy cream and let's see how much. I think it's 2 full Jell-O packets. Might just be 1.5. But it's Jell-O packet to taste of sugar-free Jell-O packets, the powder. And then I whip that up until it's nice and fluffy. And then I fold in cottage cheese that I have squeezed out in cheesecloth or in paper towels or whatever, or in a strainer of some kind. I just get just the curds and fold it in there. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is the most divine Jell-O salad ever. And you know what? Everyone eats it at the party and no one knows it's sugar-free. It's that yummy. So like you can make things like that make you feel, and it's pink or green or whatever color you want it to be. It's perfect for Easter. If you're making those treats not all the time, they're going to feel like treats when you're having a special occasion. So try and keep your keto treats for special days. Now I'm in maintenance and I'm having, you well know, if you guys have been watching my What to Eat Wednesdays, that I'm eating keto cake every single day. You know what that does? That makes keto cake just a food. It's not special anymore. It's just a food. It's just a way I'm getting my fats in. It's good. It's yummy, but it's not the same as when I would go 3 months without it and then I would have a keto cake on a birthday and then it was like amazing. You see what I'm saying? If you can hold yourself back for a certain amount of time, then those keto treats are going to feel just as great as a carb refeed or choosing to go off plan is ever going to feel. And you won't have to worry about it tomorrow. You won't have to be in carb misery land, which is not fun. Okay, let's see. Tina has lost 20 pounds in a month. Woohoo! Congratulations. Hey, Keto Grace. Good to see you. Tina says she's having a hard time eating more than 1 meal a day. If you're comfortable doing 1 meal a day, it's totally fine. My only concern with 1 meal a day is not getting the protein in, because you'll eat if you eat enough protein, you'll feel very, very full. So I did OMAD. Actually, the first year I did keto, I did OMAD once a week, and I would have to add a Premier Protein shake to my meal in order to meet my protein, and it was still hard. And I decided that it just wasn't as fun, because I like to eat and I like to have at least 2 meals, and having 3 is even better for me. It's much more satisfying. I feel much more normal. But if OMAD's where you're comfortable, just hit your protein first, then do your veggies and fats. So don't fill up on a giant salad and then expect to get enough protein in. Make sure you get your protein first and make sure you eat all of it, or you risk losing your lean mass. So that's my only concern with OMAD, but it's fine to do that. And it's probably very good for you. I'm sure it's great. Okay. This week I've had some back pain. Could that be a low sodium side effect? Possibly, because if it's muscle cramping, what happens is electrolytes are a fine balance. What you really actually need is potassium, okay? But the thing is about your body is that it's kind of weird. If your sodium levels are good, your body will take every bit of potassium that you consume in food and it will keep it and use it and be happy. If your sodium drops too low, your body will panic, retain the sodium, which will cause you to retain water, and then it will dump your potassium. When it dumps your potassium and sometimes magnesium, it can cause muscle cramping. So if it was muscle cramping in your back, Yes, can definitely be a problem. You're going to be it's going to take a few days of keeping your sodium up to get back to where you feel good if that's the case, because muscle cramping means that you dropped your potassium. If you're just feeling the early signs of keto flu, like dizzy, lightheaded, tired, headachy, just kind of cranky, you can usually stem it off by quickly consuming some sodium and stop it in its tracks before your potassium dumps. But if you are already feeling muscle cramping, you've already stepped into the uh-oh zone. You already have dumped your potassium. And it takes a little bit to build it back up. So over the next couple of days, you're going to want to have a lot more potassium in your food. You're going to want to light salt things. Try and get a gram of light salt in every day if you can. You can add it to Ketorade with your Soleil water and just drink it, or you can do like I do and put it on your eggs and your meat or whatever. Just make sure you get some extra. I don't necessarily recommend huge amounts of potassium supplementation. I used to recommend taking a Zip Fizz on days like that, but I found that I'm allergic to something in Zip Fizz because it causes me major heart pain, chest pain. I don't know what it is. It's not the caffeine, because obviously I drink caffeine like a crazy person. I mean, I drink one of these that's 300 milligrams right here, and it's no problem. So I know it's not the caffeine. Something else in it bothers me, but if it doesn't bother you, that's a good way to get it. I think it's like 840 milligrams of potassium in one drink. They don't taste that great, but it is potassium citrate powder basically in there. And if if you're not doing it all the time, it's okay. So that's what I recommend. High potassium foods for a few days and keep your sodium at a good level and see what happens. If the muscle pain persists, then it's probably you've tweaked your back. I mean, it isn't always an electrolyte issue. It could be, though I find people more get cramping in their calves, feet, hands, things like that. Okay. Oh, hi Amanda from Our Life to Keto Way. Hi and goodbye. Hope you enjoy watching it back later. Okay, so Nesme says, how much protein can I eat because I want to lose weight? If you want to know exactly, go join my Facebook group, Keto Chaos, over on, the link is in all my videos except for live chats, because I don't always get around to putting it in the live chat description. But it's in all the other videos, and you can just search Keto Chaos. There's a page and a group. Make sure you join the group. You need to answer 2 questions to join the group. If you don't answer the questions, you will not be let in. If you only answer one, it's a crapshoot if I let you in. Sometimes I feel sorry for you and let you in, and sometimes I hit decline. It just depends on how I feel. So make sure you're answering 2 questions if you're joining. You can also email me at ketochaos@gmail.com, and I'll send you that handy dandy get started guide that includes a nice chart on what you should consume. But in general, for women, depending on height, you're going to want a minimum of like 95, probably 100 grams of protein, upwards of 130, depending on your height. So somewhere in that zone is the safe zone for protein. I'm 5'7", and my safe zone protein is 120. I often exceed that. I like my protein. Okay. I just got diagnosed with cancer. Any advice? Cancer is a whole different ballgame than what I'm talking about here. Cancer. You're going to want the medical keto for cancer. So if I were you, I'd probably find a Facebook group that deals with it, that talks about the best ways to do it. You're not going to want to have any artificial sweeteners. You're going to want to eat as cleanly as you can. You're going to want to do organic everything. You're going to want your fats to be extremely high. These are just things I know off of anecdotal things I've read, but I don't have any personal experience, but I am sure there got to be keto cancer gurus out there that can help. So my first bet would be look for a Facebook group for keto with cancer, and I bet you that you're going to find all the resources that you need. And I am so sorry. That is tough. I often wonder, what will I do if that happens to me? And I don't know. I don't know. It feels overwhelming. So I'm so sorry. Okay. Where's my choppers? Jesus is Lord. I agree with you, Jeremy Bailey. But yeah, we're going to say bye-bye to you, because I love that you're saying that, and I do believe that's true, but whatevs. Okay, and we will say goodbye to $1,000. There we go. All right. struggle, Nicole Elizabeth says, I struggle to get enough protein without going over on fat. What are the best protein foods other than chicken and fade yogurt, which I do? Okay, I'm moving this thing. It's in my way. Sorry, guys. It's on my camera. There we go. There we go. I can't see the timer because it's like right there on the game. Okay, anyway. Other high protein, low fat foods besides chicken breast and yogurt. Those are obviously my go-tos because that's what I eat every day. Be careful on your bacon. Make sure that you find bacon that's 50-50. If you can't find bacon that's 50% protein, 50% fat, exactly same in both, don't eat it. Don't eat sausages. Don't eat any of those kind of like processed meats because they're all going to be fatty. Stick to cleaner meat. So if you look at ham, there is like Applegate Naturals ham. It has 0 carbs and it's lunch meat, and you can like roll it up. Get lower fat cheeses. Get lower fat cream cheese if you're going to use it in sauces or whatever, things like that. Shrimp is a good one. Turkey, all poultry. Poultry is pretty much good. Stick away from the thighs and wings, and stick to the breast meat as much as you can. That way you can add your fat into it by cheese or sauce, and you can have more control over what's actually in it. Look for lean ground beef. 90-10 works really well. 93-7 works, but it tastes like crud, so I don't recommend it. Elk is a really good one. So if you like other kinds of meats, elk, lamb, and deer are all really good ones. Let me think. Any more that I can think of? Of course, protein powders. Protein powders are not necessarily super highly recommended, but you can definitely use them in a pinch. You can add them with your eggs and make protein pancakes, things like that, and just up your protein that way. You can make protein puffs. Like there's lots of very low fat protein heavy meal ideas out there. I don't really eat a lot of them, but you could. Avoid almond flours and things like that, which are very high in fat. Avoid nuts, which are very high in fat and carbs. There was one I just thought of. Egg whites. So when you're making an omelet, use 1 full egg and then use egg whites to fill it in. Egg whites have all the protein. All the fat is in the yolk. You do want some of the delicious, yummy yolk, especially if you've got your own backyard chickens like me. Yummy. I crave my eggs. They're that yummy. They are so good. Anyway, adding egg white to an omelet is a good way to bring up the protein level without bringing any fat into it. What are some other tips? I just saw a product. I have not tried this, and I don't even know if I should recommend it because it's extremely expensive, but it's called protein puffs, and it's like cereal. Well, they have cereal ones. So they have like a French toast one, and you have it with almond milk. That sounds divine to me. I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm like, it's a new product called protein puffs. That's what they're called. They also have I think sour cream and chives. So they have ones you could eat like chips. Very, very interesting. Some of these products that are coming out, like if they came to me, if protein puffs, if you're out there, if you want me to do a video on your product, I will do it. I wish all these other stupid products that are like stupid things would stop messaging me for sponsorships because I'm tired of saying no. I would like to say yes to someone. It would be nice. I would probably do protein puffs if they gave me free protein puffs. I'd consider that. Creo Brew, Faye, all these things I eat and talk about all the time. Primal Thin, hello, where's my sponsorship, Primal Thin? Anyway, those are some ideas. I hope it helped. We've had that question asked on the Facebook page a lot. So if you go there and do search in the search bar, you can probably find more things. Oh, turkey burger, lean ground beef. Yeah, those are great ones. Yeah, I like it when we have trolls. That means we have a lot of people watching. Not no heavy cream pepita, just not a lot of heavy cream. And you have to track it. I do consume heavy cream. I have heavy cream in my Creo Brew quite a bit. There's heavy cream in my keto cakes. There's heavy cream in a lot of things that I eat for treats. But on a daily basis, cream isn't always the best choice unless you're making like a Parmesan sauce and you're just using a little bit of it. So it's just, if you're drinking ounces of heavy cream a day, that's why you're not losing weight. If you're eating boxes of Rebel ice cream, it's basically heavy cream. You're not going to lose any weight. Hey, Rebel ice cream, I'll do a sponsorship for you. Come on, people. Come on, people. All right. Fairly new to this way of eating. How many calories and macros would you recommend per meal? I've talked about that. Join the Facebook group, get the chart, and you'll know exactly. Okay. How do I deal with a stall? I did a whole video on that. If you want to go back into my live chats and look for it, I have done a whole video on a stall. First of all, how long have you been losing and gaining the same 10 to 20 pounds? That 10 to 20 is a lot to be up and downing with. I will say it's probably too much fat because they've lost 100 pounds. So you've gotten to a place where you reached your set point. You're eating your maintenance calories. Cut back your fat, raise your proteins. That's usually the answer. Look for hidden carbs. Make sure you're not over exceeding 20. Go back to eating 20 total for a while and see if that helps. Double check your electrolytes. Sometimes water weight will just mess with you. If you don't have enough sodium, your body will just hang on to the water. But yeah, if it's been more than 6 weeks, you probably just need to cut your fat even more. Hate to break it to you. All right. Jennifer Costa says that my protein level seems low for if you're strength training and taking spin classes. If you know your personal body mass, so like through DEXA scan or whatever, you can use the Keto Gains calculator, and they have a 2 gram per pound of lean mass calculator that'll give you more protein. You can definitely exceed your protein if you feel like it's not enough. This is just the minimum for regular sedentary people. It should be sufficient for doing normal exercise, but if you're bodybuilding, you're correct. You're not going to get enough protein from that. You're going to want 2 grams per pound of lean mass. That's actually what I usually tend to get. Well, not quite that. 2 grams. No, I don't quite get that. It's like anywhere from 1 to 2. And Dr. Finney recommends way lower than that. So that's high. And I'm doing 1. So I have 118 pounds of lean mass, and I usually hit 120 plus. So I'm doing between 1 and 2 grams per pound of lean mass. So yeah, go to Keto Gains and get your numbers from there if you're bodybuilding. Their Facebook group is great, but like I said, they're not the nicest people in the world, but you can learn a lot of stuff through the search bar. You don't have to actually say anything. Let's see. I can't cut dairy. If dairy's bothering you, I will cry for you and feel sorry. I can't do keto without dairy. I tried it for a week and thought I almost died. It was painful. There are ways to get your fats in that aren't dairy. Obviously, you'd be able, if you're not eating a lot of cheese, you're going to be able to eat a higher fat bacon and a higher fat beef, and you're going to be able to have coconut and stuff like that along with what you're eating. But it's too much work for me. I need my cheese. I love my cheese. Hey, Lloyd, good to see you. My current weight as of today is 179. I am currently trying to maintain anywhere between 176 and 183. I'm kind of bouncing around right now for the next 3 months because I like to practice maintenance before I actually get to my goal weight. My goal weight is about 160 right now. I may change that if I get to 160 and I'm not happy. So in June, I will be back on a cut. So look for that. I'm going to do 3 months of maintenance, and then I'm going to go back to another fat loss, at least 1 month, maybe 2. People keep asking me about Mexico. I almost titled this video, "Is Mexico a Bust?" because the woman has not responded to my emails since March 19th. So I'm starting to think maybe Mexico's not going to happen, and I'm trying not to cry too hard because I was really looking forward to that. But then I keep thinking, well, at least I don't have to worry about a Mexico bod then. So I guess I'll be doing June and July if I'm going to Mexico. If I am not going to Mexico in August, then I will just do June and go back to maintenance for July and August and September. That was my original plan. I'm only going to be doing fat loss macros for 4 months out of the year this year. So I did them in January and February. I was planning to do June and October, and that's it. The rest of the time, I'm going to be doing maintenance. So I hope that's okay with you guys. My current weight was 179 today, but my starting weight was 374. So it kind of come a little bit of ways. And I'm kind of tired of losing weight at this point. And I'm pretty happy with how I look except for my belly. And I feel like if I lose more weight, I'm just losing it here. And so I'm willing to keep the belly to keep my face poofy. As I keep feeling like I look all pinchy, like a wicked old witch. Don't like it. Especially my neck creeps me out sometimes. I'll be like, ew, what is, I don't even know. I can't even do it right now. Because especially this recording is ridiculous. What is with my phone? And I remember my other phone doing this to me when I first started. And I remember saying to you guys, do I look weird? And everybody was like, no, I don't look weird. But I really feel like I look weird right now on this phone. And I'm disappointed because it was expensive. And I want to go back to my old one and trade this one to my daughter, who I sold my old one to. But then she made the mistake of upgrading the software, and her camera is now exactly the same as this one. I'm trying not to be annoyed. So I can't even switch back. Okay. Pogue Mahone. Welcome. Are you still here? Probably not. Okay. Pogue Mahone. Pogueis Mahone. Is that even close? Probably not. Keto is not a sustainable diet. What will you do when you stop? Answer, gain back the weight. Oh my gosh. Rolling my eyes so hard into the back of my head. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. So, keto is 100% sustainable. The definition of sustainable means you keep doing it. That's your answer. What will I do when I stop? I won't stop. I'm not stopping. In fact, I'm stopped right now. But all I'm doing is consuming more calories and keeping my carbs low. Still in ketosis, still keto, just eating more food. And I'm not losing any more weight. And that's the answer of what you do when you get to your goal weight. You just stay on keto. Will you gain it back if you become a crazy carb binger again? Yep. Don't do that. I did that. This girl. 110 pounds lost, 150 gained back. Don't do that. Stay on keto. Keto is sustainable. There is an entire article about why it's sustainable over on Verta Health. I am not going to go into all the nitty-gritty details, but suffice it to say, the body is happily able to run on fat. The brain is happily able to run on ketones. The body will has a process for getting the glucose that it needs for any of the processes that it needs glucose for, regardless of how much carbohydrate you are eating. There is no essential carbohydrate, not any, zero, none. There is no essential carbohydrate. The only thing we get from carbohydrates that may be essential to life are micronutrients, and you can happily take that in a multivitamin. So easy. You don't need the fiber because when you're in ketosis, your body creates the same gassy whatevers. I don't know. Go read the thing. There's a whole freaking article on the science of it. I don't know the sciencey science. All I know is Dr. Finney says that a side effect of keto is also the same thing as eating fiber and letting it rot in your gut for digestion. So you don't actually need the fiber either. There you go. Answer your question. Thanks for stopping by. Alrighty, let's see what else is here. We are over time, so I'm going to try and get you if you want. Okay, if I eat 1,500 calories OMAD, I'll lose weight, but if I split it into 2-3 meals, I maintain. Any thoughts? How long have you done it for? Honestly, it's scientifically impossible to eat the exact same food at different times and have a different result. The only thing is that your body doesn't know what to do with it and it will retain some water. If you keep doing it for a long enough time, and I mean like 4 to 6 weeks, so you switch it to 3 meals and you wait it out for 4 to 6 weeks, it probably will drop still. I've done both. I've done OMAD. I've done 2 meals a day. I've done 3 meals a day. Doesn't really seem to make much difference over time. But that's over time. And it could be you're getting more fat burn from the time you're fasting. I don't know. Maybe it's because you're building more lean mass because you're stimulating muscle protein synthesis 3 times instead of only once. I don't know. But yeah, anyway. Okay. And so Pogu Mahoney is a troll, and I can't remove you. Why is it not removing you? Well, don't worry. I'll take care of you later. you don't come into a place where people actually know what they're talking about and spray crap that's not true that you don't actually know about. I hate to break it to you, but like we kind of know stuff here, or at least I do. I kind of have read a lot of stuff. Keto will not make your life short, guys. It won't. In fact, it won't damage your kidneys. It won't damage your fatty liver. Well, I mean, it won't cause fatty liver. It will give you a little bit of higher triglycerides and cholesterol as the fat starts floating around in your body. But as you burn it off and your body gets rid of it over time, those will normalize as well. It will not cause you to have heart disease. Heart disease is being proved to be caused by inflammation. It is the most anti-inflammatory diet there is. It fixes so many problems because of this. I know personally people who've had their fatty liver reversed. Their diabetes for sure has been reversed, type 2, not type 1. And I know people who even kidney disease has reversed. A lot of people say it damages the kidneys. And I have a friend who talked to his doctor about this specific higher protein way of eating keto and was giving the go ahead. And he has severe kidney disease. He has had multiple kidney replacements. It's fine, guys. Don't let people come in here and just be like, nah, 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 because they don't know what they're talking about. It's so irritating. It's like being on Facebook and people going, oh, you're going to die. I'm like, you know what? We're all going to die. Sorry, but I'd rather be healthy and thin and running and feeling amazing and being in control of what I eat and not be a crazy carb binging person than be a crazy carb binging person. Somehow I think being a crazy carb binging person, which is what I am when I'm on carbs, and what most people who are obese have issues with, somehow I think that might kill me sooner. I don't know. Just go figure. Being at almost 400 pounds, yeah, I think that might kill me sooner. I'll take my chances. All right. Food to take hiking. String cheese, Applegate Farms, ham, turkey, any kind of like little meat roll up, a lettuce wrap. Primal Thin protein bars. People have given me a hard time about the Primal Thin ones being maybe not accurate. I talked to Julian Bakery. They gave me their information about where they are tested and said that it's all a bunch of bunk from like years ago and it's not accurate and it never really came to anything. If they've been lying for 4 years about their products, I think they would be shut down and not growing bigger and bigger by the day. So I'm not super worried about Julian Bakery. So yeah, protein bars, and I do like those Primal Thin bars. They are great. 1 net carb, 20 grams of protein, freaking awesome, and they taste so good. They taste like Beta Honeys with a little sunflower hint to them. So there you go. That's basically it. Like you can take tuna packets. That's a good one. Bring a little mustard packet and a little salt and pepper. And then you just open the tuna packet, put that stuff in, stir it up, eat it. Yum. You can even bring a dill pickle relish if you want it to be really tasty. Those are some great ideas. Of course, there are some really good jerky and meat sticks out there. Costco has some really killer meat sticks. I wish I could remember the name of them right offhand. Something with green in it. My sister eats them. I don't personally eat them. That's just why I don't know. That have like less than a carb per stick or something. So those are awesome. Obviously nuts, but you want to make sure they're in measurable amounts, not big bags of nuts that you're going to go and eat crazy stuff on. Let's see. 1 from 50 says, I love that I tuned in just in time to hear you say eat the protein first before the salad. I love my salad. I think that's my mistake. Yeah, just make sure that you're getting your protein in. If you can't, don't put more salad on your plate than you can consume alongside with the protein. So for me, more than 100 grams of lettuce, and I'm just kind of like, I just don't want to eat it. And so if I've mixed the protein all through it, and especially if it's cheese, it's kind of hard to pick the protein out of that. So just play around with it, find your optimal amount that doesn't make you feel over full and that you know you can consume all of it. And then lettuce is great. You can eat tons and tons of lettuce. You really can. And if you're having trouble not feeling full enough, even with the protein, lettuce is a great way to get it in. Carb lettuce is like, lettuce carbs, it's just like, do you really count them? Yes, I do, but to a leeway, you know what I mean? Like they're basically non-existent, practically lettuce. Cucumbers the same way, which is why pickles are a great option, especially because they have salt in them. Celery, you know, things like that you can consume if you need to feel bingy. Let's see. Keto Grace says, I had my blood work done and everything has improved. Yep, me too. And for OMAD, of course, like you're going to want to eat less bulk. It's just how it's got to be. Focus on your protein. A great one to watch would be Sarah Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. She's currently doing carnivore OMAD, I believe. So it's very interesting what she eats. Might want to go over there and check her out on YouTube. Social anxiety, eye contact phobia. I mean, I don't know. I am not a mental expert. I do know that keto has improved all of my mental issues because I have food allergies of some kind, I think, that trigger mine. So if you're not already on keto, you could try that, but I don't know. I'd say go see a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a mom. Okay. I already answered you. Okay. All right. Looks like we got everybody. Okay. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, you guys. We're over our time, and I love ya. I always say I love you all, and people are like, you don't even know me. And I'm like, well, I feel like I do. When I'm sitting here chatting with you guys, or when you comment in the comments, I appreciate it. Over on Hide and Seek, because it's a family channel, YouTube is stupid and has deleted all of our comments. Well, it's disabled all of our comments. And I feel like I'm just putting stuff out into space with no feedback and no communication and no relationships over there. It's kind of heartbreaking. I'm so grateful that I still have you guys to talk to over here and that I still have my comment section on this channel, because if not, I would probably want to quit and die right now because I'm so sad about losing my comments over there. It's not just me. It's all family channels pretty much. Every vlogger, all the big ones. It's really, really bad. YouTube is not being very brilliant about what they are trying to do, but I appreciate that they're at least trying. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with me.